Oh, hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling the radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that Scuba Radio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for Scuba Radio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. Look, I hate starting the show off like this, but I have to because, every once in a while things hit a little too close to home and we get bad news. And I think it's appropriate sometimes to get it out there before we start being silly and doing our typical 2-hour radio show about scuba diving every week. And this week, I got to give a little shout out to the family of Tuna Dave, or Dave Tuna. Tuna, as we knew him on the Explorer Venture liveaboard boats, passed away this week. He was a cook. He was a dive master, dive guide, just an all-around great guy, just a ball of fun. And I got word yesterday that he passed away, and it was very unexpected. And our hearts and prayers go out to his family, his friends, the people at Explorer Ventures that he worked with, which, he hadn't been working with them, last few years, but he'd been on many Scuba Radio, Scuba cruises with us. And it was, being able to travel the world and do this goofy little show that we do, especially when we travel on those liveaboard trips, is just an honor. I mean, I'm so blessed to be able to do this. And when you go on a trip and you see a familiar face like Tuna, just light up like it's an old friend, a family reunion, it really makes all the difference in the world because it really does add to the whole adventure. And it's really, it's sad. So just know that is weighing a little heavy on me today, and I wanted to just get that out there. If you've been on one of those trips and you knew Tuna, as everyone called him, he was so friendly. He made sure your adventure was so much fun. He's definitely going to be missed. So there you go. All right. So I want to get that out there. So now let the chaos begin, as I know he would be enjoying it because he had a pretty twisted sense of humor, Tuna did. Not only CJ is in the studio with me, but we got Bubble Boy back in the studio. Hey,
it's great to be back, man.
Yeah, it's good to have you. CJ.
He forgot
Bubble
how
Boy.
to get here. He called me and asked me, where the hell is
right.
the studio?
What's a buddy for? You're his buddy. You've been going buddyless for some time now.
It's funny. I was calling him to see if he wanted to go hang out later.
Right.
And he's like, I'm on my way.
And you're like, oh, crap.
That's right. I forgot.
Oh, okay. No, that was a good thing.
Hide the breakables.
Yes, exactly.
And the liquor.
Well, he knows where. I don't think he forgot where that was stored here at the Scuba Radio headquarters. So, Bubble Boy, CJ in the studio with me today as we navigate the latest scuba diving news and information. We got some pretty twisted stories again today to kind of dive into. So this is a good day for Bubble Boy. Bumblebee. I just saw the Transformers movie. Sorry.
We were in 6th grade. It'd been a bad idea to put us sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now?
Now, I mean,
nothing changed. The more things
still bad idea.
change, the more they stay the same. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see what happens in the studio. It could be a little bit more chaotic than usual since we have the buddy team back together. But we also have the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad connected via the web today. That's made up of Barry the Bugger, who's actually taking a break from painting his house to join us today. He's
huffing fumes.
He's
all loopy on fumes.
That could be, Barry. Yeah, why are you painting today? I mean, you got to turn your mic on, though, Barry. I mean, that would help, I think.
The fumes have obviously gotten to him.
I have a question. Question.
The rain is coming down.
Okay, he can't. So he was planning to blow us off again today, but it's raining, so he can't paint.
Barry, do you just roll right over the dead iguanas? Or do you knock them off before you
No,
paint?
that's how you get the stucco effect on the side of his house.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's what that is iguana
He's still talking,
guts.
but he's muted.
While they were frozen, I was chucking them over my neighbor's yard.
Ah,
Oh, that's a good neighbor.
yeah, because we had that cold snap. It froze up all the green iguanas in South Florida, and they were falling out of trees and into people's pools, and people were setting them out there in the garbage, and then they'd warm up and reanimate.
Barry's
and come
got
back
a
to life
problem.
and terrorize the neighborhood.
Barry's
What
got a
fun.
problem with iguana poop. Don't they poop everywhere?
Yeah, well, his backyard is an iguana restroom, or toilet, as they say in the UK. Iguana
they
toilet.
they were digging holes. But you remember Gamora, the flying turtle that flew during the Japanese
Gamera.
Is Barry having a
I
stroke
think
or
that
something?
wasn't one of the
What is-
more popular monsters.
Oh,
but
that's a Godzilla thing?
He was
Yeah.
a turtle?
There was
Talk
a turtle
about your
that-
bizarre reference.
Yeah.
But,
Thank you, Casey.
That's what these iguanas became when they were frozen. They couldn't run away.
They turn into flying turtles.
Flying iguanas.
Okay, Barry. Well, just
Barry making as much sense as ever.
you know what? Those paint fumes are working their magic today.
They do.
God
We have an
bless 'em.
excuse this week.
Yes. All right.
Hey,
Jerry the
Greg.
Diver Guy with us as well. And Casey the Tobacco Nut, Mermaid Kristen. We got Dr. Doug Ebersol and a special guest who you can see on YouTube and Facebook Live today, as well as Twitch, Miss Scuba Queen USA. Rachel is
Wow,
with
how'd
us.
you book her?
Jerry the Diver Guy reached out. And actually, I
She
talked
didn't
to.
run the other way?
Well, yeah. She just doesn't
Has
know
Jerry
any better
proposed
yet.
already?
No, probably just a first date.
Well, it's very early in the show. A proposal could happen. I mean, it'd be radio gold. You never know. But
she could be
Hey,
my
Greg.
future ex-wife. I
yeah,
mean,
well, okay, there you go.
mean-
Jerry the Diver Guy.
He's very confident.
All
I
right,
like
just
that.
cool your jets there, buddy. What,
Comment.
Casey? Go ahead. What?
Just so you know, our frozen iguanas have gone nationwide. My brother in California called to say that the LA Times ran a story on iguanas dropping from the sky.
Okay, thank you for that, Casey.
Okay, great.
I'm
Well-
glad we're just getting it out there, and we're ahead of the curve. We're
I
at
know
the
it's
crest
not
of the
as
wave
good as
covering.
throwing them into my neighbor's yard, but I try.
Well, okay, wherever you throw them is your choice.
If you have
I
a
don't
story,
judge.
call 1-888-IGUANA.
Okay, thank you. There you go. All right. Well, anyway, I think we've got the iguana thing covered now. I think we do. So back to Rachel. She is Miss Scuba Queen USA. I met her a couple years ago, actually 2-3 years ago. Do you even remember this, Rachel, or did you block it out as most people that
Just
have
say yes.
encounters with me do?
Block it.
Yes,
block it.
I think I do remember. I was late to an interview because I overslept. If I got that right.
Well, I don't remember that. I just didn't we have some kind of gig we did at the Scuba Show, and they had they had that
yeah.
event.
Yeah, with Brittany Novick, who was
Right.
a previous winner, and she's Miss Scuba International.
Yeah.
Actually, a previous winner, and we had this awesome. I think it was like a raffle event of some sort.
Yeah, and we gave
So,
away a bunch
yes.
of prizes and just kind of hung out. It was a good time. But
Right. Right.
Rachel and Brittany were there from the pageant. So your title is Miss Scuba Queen USA current, or where are you at there, Rachel?
Yes, so I am Scuba Queen USA. I was crowned in 2019, and because of COVID, I still got this crown on my head. So
She's like, I dare you to try to take it off.
Yeah, try
Right?
to take it, bitches.
I'll kill you. I'll stab you with my
6 feet.
dive knife.
6 feet, thank you. No.
Yeah, right.
It's so basically because there isn't been an international pageant to send our candidate to,
Right.
we have not had a USA pageant because the grand finale international isn't being offered, and so
Mhm.
I have been the longest reigning Scuba Queen USA.
Sweet. Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
That
very
is
much.
an honor and a privilege, I'm sure. And I guess we got to dive a little deeper into what makes Miss Scuba Queen USA. How what are the different categories or things that you have to do, because we have members of our crew that would probably want to take a run at that.
If it's axe throwing, I got somebody that could do it.
I was thinking more of Barry or Jerry,
Hey,
Why? Why would you think of them?
because I know
Why?
that they want in on this action. You know,
No, we don't.
and we don't judge. It's
I
California.
judge harshly.
They're pretty liberal out there on the left coast. Isn't that where it's based? Or no? In the States, is it based or not? I don't know.
Well, right now, we're actually in this kind of transition phase where we're starting to try to rebuild it into something bigger and better in the United States. Pageantry is not actually as popular in the United States as it is everywhere else in the world, especially in Asia. It's considered like a really, really big deal, kind of like an Olympic sport over in Asia. While here in the United States, I blame toddlers and tiaras. It doesn't really have the best rap. And so, which I was part of. I used to be part of that crew. Like the first time I saw a Scuba Queen USA walking through a scuba show,
she was all about it. And here she is. She has the crown now, as you can see there on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. All right, more coming up on the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Conventional underwater scooters can be heavy, unwieldy, and underpowered. At just over 8 pounds and with speeds of up to 7 miles per hour, the Scuba Jet Pro dive scooter is a game changer and fits in your dive bag. The Scuba Jet Pro uses an eco-friendly jet engine with impeller technology. With adapters, it can even power paddleboards, canoes, kayaks, and all kinds of water sports equipment. It's the most versatile scooter you'll ever own. Learn more and get the Scuba Jet Pro at ScubaJet.com. That's ScubaJet.com.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Hey, baby, what's going down?
Later, nerd.
Are you lacking with the ladies?
Nope.
Enhance your scuba superpowers with a new Scuba Radio hat.
Wow, nice hat.
Just picked it up at ScubaRadio.com.
Buy 2 Scuba Radio hats and get free shipping.
Need a dive buddy, sexy?
Always, and I got a Scuba Radio hat for you, too.
New Scuba Radio hats are now available at ScubaRadio.com.
So cool.
Order yours today, or stay a loser.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio. Dive, dive, dive.
You guys still make Danny DeVito do crazy, often humiliating, and sometimes life-threatening stunts.
Yeah, that's true.
And does he ever say "knock it off"?
This time we almost killed him this year. We almost drowned him. We did an underwater sequence, and Danny's incredibly buoyant. It was. Like a buoy.
Yeah, right. It's a buoy, yeah.
It's hard to get him down, so we really had to weigh him down. And when the shot was over and we were all trying to get back to the surface for air, we all quickly got through the water, but because we weighed him down, he sort of got halfway and was going nowhere. And that look of panic in his eyes of like, this is the end, these guys killed me. But we had some safety divers, they got him out.
Greg, I'm distracted. We have not just a mermaid, but we have Miss Scuba Queen USA.
How many fingers am I holding
I'm distracted.
How many fingers am I holding up?
I know I'm number one. Stop it. Just stop it right now. I am Greg the Dive Master. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We just finished up World of Boating, so there you go. That's
I'm
my
not
excuse.
saying you're in mental decline, but maybe think about a successor someday.
Okay. Well, I brought in you two.
Okay.
All right. Are you guys ready to take the
Yeah, we are
helmet.
way younger, so that's a good call.
Okay. All right. There's no future for this show, evidently. I
Anyway.
think that pretty much nails that one. All right. Look, Scuba Radio, Scuba Squad connected via the web. Barry the Bugger, Jerry the Diver Guy, Casey the Tobacco Nut, Mermaid Kristen, Dr. Doug Ebersol with us today as well. And Dr. Doug, what? Dr. Doug, obviously you're going to have to pull out the defibrillator.
Do you have any pills for my tongue-tied friend?
Can you help us? Yeah, can you
maybe some ginkgo biloba?
It's pretty much too late for us, right, Dr. Doug? Is that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think you
okay.
guys
Well, thank you.
Us, don't lump me in with you.
Oh yeah, no, you're here. You're in the studio.
He may need that horny goat weed or something.
There you go.
What?
There you go.
There's no goats.
Get that boy some horny
There are
goat
no
weed.
goats in here. Just CJ and Bubble Boy. All right, but Dr. Doug Ebersol, I got to check in with you on a couple things. But first, have you been diving lately, Dr. Doug, or what have you been doing?
Yeah, we were just talking in the break. I was actually diving last weekend when it was so cold.
Yeah,
so we
you were.
Yeah, I was chipping ice off the windshield out of the hotel, and so it was 23 degrees. I think we got in the water on Sunday last weekend up at Cave Country.
Wow,
he's unstoppable. Have you ever asked him if he's been diving, and has he ever said no?
I don't think that day exists.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he does it all. So, what exact spring were you diving there, Dr. Doug?
We did. Well, I started off. I had a guy who had flown up. He's from Mexico, kind of via New York at the moment, for a recreational trimix class for a few days, and then he stayed on. He was cave certified from Mexico, but never been diving in Florida, so he wanted me to do some guided cave diving for him. So we did a couple of dives at Ginny Springs.
Okay.
And then went over on Sunday, and then last Monday we went to Peacock Springs, did a couple dives at Peacock.
All right. So, but if it's that cold, which it was in Florida in the 20s in the morning, you went over there early, and I mean, the springs are like 72 degrees year round, 74 there, in that range. I mean, are they like steaming? Are they smoking?
Yeah, there was at Ginny, there was steam coming off the water in the morning.
Wow.
It was actually the coldest got, I think, was 22, 23.
Yeah.
But
but you're
Ginny
jumping in
has
there.
nice
You're like jumping in the hot tub.
That's right. Ginny has nice places to change, so we could go change and get warm, and it actually wasn't all that bad.
Yeah.
I was telling him the break though. My student was diving in a wetsuit, so he was kind of chilly.
What?
So as soon as he got out of the water, he ran right to the hot showers, and I helped clean up the gear. I was in a dry suit, so it didn't really matter. I helped kind of pick up the gear, let him take a hot shower.
Yeah. He wasn't equipped properly, it sounds like to me, because
No.
there's no way. I mean, honestly, though, when it's this cold, anything, below water temp, I mean, the spring feels really good, though, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. The water felt great when you jumped in. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So were there a lot of people out there, Jenny Springs? I mean,
Surprisingly, there were a lot of people at Jenny, and there were a lot of people at Peacock on Monday. On a Monday, it was fairly cold. I didn't think there'd be anybody there at all. We got there by maybe 9:30 in the morning, and the parking lot was already full. There's probably already six teams in the water.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
we kind of had to figure out where people were going and stay away from them.
Yeah, this is the high season for diving in the Florida Springs because you don't get a lot of the.
No, you should never dive under the influence.
Oh, boy, don't you start with me. And no,
it's high season for
scuba
cave diving
divers
because the water's cold. Although the air's a little cooler, so not so hot in the dry suits, and you don't have all the tubers and the crazy people at Ginny Springs.
Exactly. During the summer months, it's like it's a summer watering hole that all the locals go to and people in the general vicinity, and it gets pretty crowded. But right now, it's like all scuba divers, pretty much, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Every once in a while,
manatees.
well, there's some. Well, I don't know. Do you see manatees at Jenny? You don't get them there, do you? Or do you?
No, I have seen them in the past. I didn't see anything this time, but a couple of months ago we had one manatee in the spring run.
Okay. Well, I mean, sometimes you'll have mermaids. I mean, they do a lot of mermaid shoots.
Right, they do mermaid shoots there. Yeah, we again nothing this time, but a couple months ago we had several there. Actually, when I was at Peacock over at Orange Grove, which is another part of Peacock Springs, there were some mermaids doing some shoots there as well.
Yeah,
So
that's interest in there.
They have organized mermaid hunts at Ginny?
No, they're mermaid shoots, which is kind of like that. I
Like
guess.
a turkey shoot.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
They're not legal this time of year.
Do you need a license?
No, it's Florida. We have no rules. It's it's open season. right now.
Like shooting ducks in a barrel.
Well, hey, maybe. I don't know.
I'm surprised Jerry isn't down here more often.
Well, this could be the first season. I don't know.
Water's too cold for me.
Kristen wants to come down, but she's still kind of recovering from COVID, I believe. Is that right, Kristen? Have you been to Jenny Springs to do any kind of mermaid modeling or anything, or no?
No, I've actually never been to the Springs. I really want to go. A lot of my friends go down there and do a lot of this stuff. Which I was thinking to myself, laughing, how everyone says, "Oh, it's so cold. I have to wear a dry suit." These mermaids out there wearing just mermaid tails.
I know. Well,
they're better than the rest of us.
Exactly.
More
being turkey's done.
They're not wearing any kind of dry suit or a wetsuit for that matter. What about you, Rachel? I mean, have you mermaided, or are you just a regular scuba diver and Miss Scuba Queen?
I mermaided one time for a after party in Hollywood, and it was so fun.
Yeah.
But I went in a pool, and they were like, "Oh, it's an indoor pool," and so we didn't heat it. And let me tell you, I almost got hypothermia.
Yeah.
I swear.
That was the first and last mermaid experience for you. I got you.
Last mermaid for me.
I can't blame you. I mean,
we can get you certified as a mermaid. We have the people.
Well, that's true. Kristen actually is a mermaid instructor, believe it or not, Rachel.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I bet she didn't even know those existed, but they do. All right, well, look, we're just getting started here on the world's first radio show devoted to diving, and maybe we'll do some boating stuff too. The way things have been going so far. No,
some what?
Boating.
Nah.
Okay.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving, flying, and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving, flying, and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why I wanted to tell you about Nanook Professional Protective Cases. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook cases generally cost less than similar products currently on the market. From an iPhone to a full set of dive gear, whatever you need to shield from the elements, Nanook Professional Protective Cases has the size, shape, and color for you. Go to nanook.com. That's NANUK.com for Nanook Professional Protective Cases. The evolution of protection.
Need an escape from reality for a while? Your favorite scuba action star, Mike Scott, is back in an all-new audiobook, Cayman Cowboys, Reefs Under Pressure. From the brilliant mind of author Eric Douglas comes the thriller that started it all. Listen as Mike unravels the death of a girl, the protest of new development, and the systemic destruction of coral reefs, all against the stunning backdrop of Grand Cayman Island. This one's got it all. Submarines, kidnapping, betrayal, and more.
He didn't even have fins or a mask to let him see in the water. He was going to be slow and blind. If it weren't for the float, he knew there would be no way he would ever make it to the surface. When he was ready and completely relaxed, he wrapped his arms through the straps of the seat cushion and gently slid into the water.
Dive back into adventure with Cayman Cowboys. Also available, Oil and Water, Return to Cayman, Turks and Chaos, and Lionfish. Download all 5 audiobooks now at Amazon, booksbyeric.com, or audible.com.
People, let me tell you about a friend I know. He's got the world's first scuba diving radio show. So now everywhere I am, everywhere I go, the first thing that I tune to is Scuba Radio.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master, CJ, and Bubble Boy in the studio with me. Scuba Radio, Scuba Squad connected via the web. Barry the Bugger, Casey the Tobacco Nut, Jerry the Diver Guy, Mermaid Kristen, and Miss Scuba Queen USA, Rachel. She's wearing her tiara as well. Her crown, or is it? It's both, right? It's a tiara and a crown.
I feel like I should go get mine.
Yeah,
you should. You should.
That's right.
Please go get it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Barry, you get yours too.
Kristen has a mermaid
all
crown.
I got is my Greg on a stick.
Oh, boy. Damn you, Barry. So, anyway, I apologize for everyone, Rachel. She's new. She's not used to this kind of chaotic presentation that we have here on the big show. So,
Yeah, it's really rough because I want to tell Barry where to put that, but then that'd be hurting
yeah,
you.
okay, that's enough out of you. Jeez.
He knows. He knows.
All right. So, Kristen's getting on her sash. And
all right.
as well, because, she's Miss Mermaid Virginia. There's all these different types of pageants
Got a
and
lot
things.
of star power on the show today.
I actually just found out today that my title is rolling over into 2022 as well.
There you go.
Hey.
Get an extended reign.
For the same reason that Rachel's is, because they're having issues with the international pageant being able to organize it and get it all together due to COVID.
Right. Well, I know. Should there be some crossover there, like mermaids and scuba, pageants? I don't know. They kind of go.
I would love that.
Yeah.
That would be super cool. I've actually reached out to the organizers of the Miss Mermaid pageant to ask them,
hey.
because that's such a great, how they're set up. We're actually not as developed as the Miss Mermaid USA.
Mhm.
And so we're trying to kind of build more on that. But it's super great to be connected to like a group of girls that are also all about ocean conservation and primarily just learning how to become better ocean advocates.
I like it. I think there's some synergy there that they could capitalize on for sure, I believe. All right, maybe we'll explore that. And we got some other things that we're going to dive into today, too, when it comes to your medical form when you're learning to dive. That's coming up. Stay close.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
This group has sucked from the very start, from the teat of friendship.
Underwater, that's where you'll find me.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ and Bubble Boy are in the studio with me. And then we got Jerry the Diver Guy, Casey the Tobacco Nut, Barry the Bugger, and Mermaid Kristen, and Miss Scuba Queen USA, Rachel, with us from, you're out there in California, right? That's where you're based out?
Yes, I am.
Are you diving right now, or is it way, way too cold?
I got myself a COVID sniffle as well, and so I'm waiting out the diving. But yeah, it's always cold, in my opinion. It's worth it for the kelp forest. For me personally, there's nothing like diving in a kelp forest.
Yeah.
But it's always freezing. I always can't feel my toes and feet and fingers.
Yeah, it's a thing out there. The folks in California have a much bigger challenge than we do, I believe, in Florida.
I always thought that, but no one's ever backed it up except her.
Well, Vinny,
I always
two
thought,
tanks.
I was a big Florida wuss.
Well, you're a warm water wuss like me. Yeah, we're kind of spoiled
I
here.
can't handle cold
But even in the summer months, we're talking. The water off the West Coast there is still in like the upper 60s if you're lucky, isn't it? Or does it?
Right,
Yeah.
low 70s. The worst part is the thermocline. You hit like 40 feet, and you can see the difference between like a nice pool on a nice day and like middle of winter, been under the covered ice water, and you hit it, and your brain just kind of
Exactly. It explodes. Brain freeze, face freeze.
Really?
my leg.
Bizarre.
Yeah, it is. They have a little bit of that. Barry, what say you?
Rachel, have you dove in other places like Florida or the islands, the Caribbean, any of those areas?
Yeah, I have. And I absolutely love warm water. It's great. I can be down there all day. A lot of people ask me, they're like, oh, what's your favorite part of scuba diving? I'm like, when it's all over and the gear is clean and I can sit there and have a drink and think about what I've done.
There you go.
When I'm in warm water, it's a different story. I'm like, keep me down there all day. Am I going to run out of air? Oh, shoot. I'm not chattering. And therefore, I know it's time to get out.
Well, there you go. I'm right there with you.
Amen.
That's kind of like what we do on this show every week. It's kind of like hanging out after a day of diving at the tiki bar, someplace in the Caribbean or deep in the Pacific. But I always
Feels so good.
Yeah. I just picture those warm, type of sunset, views looking out on the ocean. But yeah, out there in California and some of those Pacific areas, the water does get a little on the chilly side. But it is cool. I mean, I went out there with Vinny Two Tanks a few years ago. We dove around Catalina Island and did the whole, kelp forest stuff, and that is a pretty magical place. For
Name
sure.
dropper.
What, Vinny?
Yeah.
Well, he's not with us right now, but we'll have to get him connected here soon, I think. He'll back me up, I think. I think he enjoyed himself. He likes diving out there. I mean, and it takes your, attention away from the cold water when you have a cool, kelp forest type vibe going on. But you got to wear a big old wetsuit and turn into kind of like the Michelin Man type of thing for us. I mean, what kind of wetsuit are you wearing, Rachel? I mean, are you pretty thick wear a wetsuit, or do you go to the dry suit level?
I just got fitted for a new dry suit, and so I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
Because normally, like, the dry suit drag kind of keeps me from having the most fun. I mean, I kind of like the whole flying acrobatics feeling. Like, give me just like a blue water dive so I can do some backflips, and I'm still having a good day.
There you go.
But,
yeah.
But I'm for sure in a 7 mil. But
Yeah.
I learned how to dive there when I was like 12, and I thought a swim cap was a dive hood for the first 3 years of diving. And so now I've kind of gotten used to it. I'm like, why does my head feel like it's like freezing?
Right.
It was a swim cap. It was a latex swim cap, not a dive hood.
Okay, I gotcha.
Brain freeze.
Yeah. But when you go into the warm water places and you get to dive, I mean, it's like totally freeing, isn't it?
Right. No, it's so freeing. In fact, the first time I was ever internationally diving, it was in Fiji, and the water was so clear I could see the surface. I was diving in a bikini at like 100 feet, but I forgot the whole meters feet thing at that time, and so I was like, I'm only 30 feet deep. I can see the surface. I'm in a bikini. It was only till the safety stopped that I was like, oh wait, it's meters.
Yeah, exactly. You're down like at 90 feet, and you're like, oh, well, okay, time to go up.
One of those stupid scuba moments.
Well, it happens. Yeah, got to make the meter transition there for sure. So, I mean, what do you do in the diving world these days then? I mean, are you traveling around representing, Miss Scuba Queen USA, or you just go out on trips when you can? You said you just recovered from COVID, or you still have a little bit of it?
Oh, no, I got a sniffle of it. I finally caught it, after the new year. I guess I blame my hot yoga class over here in California. But I'm not.
Jerry is just totally going nuts right now. You have no idea what you just did, Rachel. Jeez.
No.
Rachel, marry me.
Oh, God.
I apologize for him.
The surfer thing come out of her.
Right.
I don't even know what that means, but I don't think we should.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Moving on.
Moving on.
It's good. All this stuff makes me laugh a whole bunch. I'm actually a model for Slip-ins Dive Skins, and I go to all of these trade shows, modeling them and walking around the trade shows in, a unitard. And some guys will come up to me and they'll just have this funny little grin on their face, and their face is getting red. I'm like, just say it. I'm wearing a leotard. I know what I'm doing. And they just come out with the funniest jokes that are just mildly inappropriate. I'm like, I love scuba divers. Really?
Right.
Like, you are my people.
Well, we have Barry and Jerry do the same thing and represent Scuba Radio. But they're not wearing unitards, but a lot of people call them. Go ahead, fill in the joke line. Ready? Go.
Fill in the joke line.
No. There's nothing.
Rhymes with unitard. We'll leave it at that. Anyway, okay, so the thing is,
help me.
You're out there representing, and what I love doing this show for so many years. I mean, we're about to celebrate our 25th year anniversary of Scuba Radio, which is pretty crazy. But I love seeing folks like yourself and Mermaid Kristen come up through the ranks and are ready to grab the torch and run it out there and represent and, basically being ambassadors to bring more people into diving. That's what the ultimate goal is, to create awareness that we have this scuba thing going on. You can be a part of it, protect the planet, whatever, platform you want to present. But it's a good thing, right? You're all about that.
It's so great. What we like to say is that at Scuba Queen USA, we got 2 people that apply. They're either scuba divers who want to learn how to pageant, or they're models who want to learn how to scuba dive. Mm-hmm. Either way, the whole idea is increasing the reach by teaching people how to be teaching scuba divers how to be better advocates and teaching models how to scuba dive and love it.
Yeah.
And therefore, with all of the influencers these days, we really get a bigger reach by using, our talents.
Right.
Even though they say that like, oh, scuba diving is a, male dominated industry. I don't really believe that, but I do think it's a masculine dominated industry. So being able to bring in some feminineness.
Look at this crowd.
Hey,
I just want to know what kind of lipstick you wear.
Oh, yeah.
Inappropriate.
I mean, is
Do I
it
do my-
waterproof or
Do I
what?
do my
Is it-
underwater makeup plug right now? Is that the
Well, yeah, because Jerry obviously is
Look at her rolling.
looking to pick up a few new products for himself.
Me and Rachel just had this discussion. So.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And I told her I was going to bust her on it on the air.
All right.
Right.
Well,
right. No. So formally, it's Senegence lipstick. It's fully waterproof. And among my friends and I, we jokingly inappropriate call it our BJ proof lipstick.
Oh, there it is. Bless you. All right.
See, I told you I'm one of you guys.
Yeah, well, hey.
Oh, God.
She fits in quite well. But yeah, I think, Jerry is a little
22,
confused. Jerry.
Why is Kristen nodding knowingly?
Yeah. But Jerry and Barry, for that matter, I think might be a little confused on the Miss Scuba Queen USA. And that's why he's asking about the lipstick and all that stuff,
I'm not.
Right.
But
Why
anyway.
you want his?
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying. I'm just pointing out the obvious. We don't judge here on Scuba Radio, Rachel.
But
So
he's been up
yeah.
in the mountains too long.
Her
Okay.
being just Miss Scuba. I mean, she also has a platform to reach other people at one of her jobs that she does.
Which is what, Rachel?
Right. I'm a dive safety officer at the Aquarium of the Pacific in Long Beach.
Right. Yeah,
Yes, I
that's a
just
beautiful
celebrated my
facility. Yeah.
10 years. 10 years I've been helping run the dive program. And we have actually, pre-COVID, we're the largest volunteer dive program in the entire North America. We used to do like 8 to 12 dive shows a day where we're actually talking to the guests underwater with a Guardian full face mask.
Nice.
As well as a whole bunch of like feeding the fish, talking to the guests, cleaning the tank.
Right.
And,
Give us the spiel.
Give us
Right.
what? What?
She
Like,
has to have it memorized.
what? Like,
oh, yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah. No,
hi,
I
my
call
name's
them-
Just give us the
Rachel.
beginning.
You have any questions? I'm in the tank swimming
Let her
around and cleaning
talk.
stuff. Well, no, well,
Right.
I didn't ask you.
well, no. I'm asking. Is that what you want her to explain?
Yes,
like her
she gets it.
her shtick that she does.
Right.
There's a script that you have to read. Is that what it is, or you have to
Hey, I think
memorize?
The first question is, have you ever wanted to scuba dive in three different environments?
Well, of course you did. Okay, more coming up.
Would you like to talk diving? Greg the Dive Master's all toweled down and ready to take your call now. Call Scuba Radio at 1-888-88-SCUBA.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer. And Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Peregrine is a simple, full-color, multi-gas dive computer. It's also the most economical Shearwater dive computer released to date. Check it out and the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater. Dive computers for demanding divers.
Do you have a message or a product that you'd like to share with the diving world? Well, look no further than Scuba Radio. Just like you, thousands of diving enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to ScubaRadio.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
This is a show that I feel has depth to it.
Has depth to it?
No. It has depth. It has depth and density to it.
Many layers of solid entertainment here.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ and Bubble Boy are in the studio with me. And then we have the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad connected via the web. Barry the Bugger, Jerry the Diver Guy, Mermaid Kristen, Casey the Tobacco Nut. Actually, we got Rachel joining us now, too. The free diving instructor, mermaid herself, is with us.
Rachel's on the same show.
I know. How are we going to keep it? Well, there's Mermaid Rachel and there's Miss Scuba Queen USA Rachel. They are two different individuals. And then we got Vinny Two Tanks chimed in as well. He's connected. He came in a little late today. He was out diving in Catalina, probably. Ears were burning. And he said, I got to get on and back Greg up on this whole, kelp diving thing.
He heard something about lipstick, and he was like, let me log in.
Well, that could have been it. That might have been it. So,
Oh, God.
But look, we're not going to judge. Or actually, we are, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
We're judging lipstick colors? Is that what's going on?
Well, it got brought up, Rachel. Yeah, Miss Scuba Queen.
On this one.
Yeah, USA. Yeah, she was sharing her makeup tips for her pageant winnings, and I don't know. I mean, I guess it applies to mermaids too.
We can't give it all away.
We can't, but Kristen knows. I mean, for all the mermaid shoots that she does, and I'm sure this applies to Rachel as well. They got to wear that waterproof makeup, and kind of do what they do. To look good for the pictures and the videos that they do, right?
Right.
It's a thing.
Barry said he wears CoverGirl.
A little bit of makeup. Take that advice, Jerry.
Right.
No, Barry wears CoverGirl.
Okay.
No.
Well,
Jerry's trying out his new sash.
Welcome to the Barry and Jerry show, and we'll check back with them in a little while.
A little defensive. He thinks they don't protest too much.
Right. But as we found out in the last segment that Rachel works at the Aquarium of the Pacific there in Long Beach, California.
Yes. Let me change my hat real quick.
Oh, there you
Super
go.
Cool. There we go.
She has her aquarium hat on now. So is there like a...
See, Barry, that's how you rock a hat.
True.
Sorry, go
is
ahead.
It's actually a visor.
Oh, it's a visor. See,
visor.
she can still have her flowing mermaid hair kind of going behind her and whole thing.
Yep.
Okay, just quiet. I'm talking to Rachel. Quiet now. Just stop it. I'm trying to direct this nonsense. Okay, so Rachel, I want to get back to what you do there at the aquarium, because you say you're in the tank and you give presentations to the guests that go to the aquarium. And is there like a script you got to follow, like on the Jungle Cruise there at Disneyland or something? Or is it total free form when you're answering questions from the folks there at the aquarium, or what?
There is technically a script, like an educational script, but we're always talking to an education presenter on the other side.
Yeah.
And so I like to actually train so most of the people that are talking in the tanks, they're actually volunteers. And so they're all volunteers. And what I try to tell them is I advise them to watch like the old like Steve Irwin Crocodile Hunter
Right.
movies. And if you look, he only tells you like 2 facts, and then he spends the next 30 minutes telling you about how beautiful an animal is. Like he just describes it. And so I tell them just talk about how it feels to be in the exhibit. And you always get people staying, I mean, it's crazy how many people are just like absolutely in rapture about what scuba divers are and what they're doing. Like I used to be like a birthday party character. And let me tell you, walking around as Cinderella never got nearly as much attention as walking around in a wetsuit.
Wow.
And so it's really cool to see how all the children love it, but mainly the adults, they start looking like little kids because they're like, wow, I wish I could do that.
Sure.
And It's really interesting to have that connection between the person to person and then the person to the animals.
Sure.
It's an important role.
Right, but you have a guide outside the aquarium that's kind of instructing the people taking questions and stuff like that. Do you ever get any wise asses in the audience that say like, "Oh yeah, I watched the croc hunter. What exactly happened to him? Can you have one of those stingrays stab her in the heart and see if she lives through it or something?" I don't know. I mean,
always you get those wise guys. It's pretty fun.
Vinny.
Right, exactly.
He lives out there. I figured he'd already done that. But
what's funny is to watch the people when we're not actually giving a presentation, when I'm just watching the divers, do their thing, and people are like, "Oh, watch out for the stingray, it's gonna sting you," and they're genuinely completely concerned when like he's not gonna sting you.
Right.
He's like we have a name for him. His name is Matt, because when we get in the exhibit, he likes to stay at the very bottom, and he's black, so you don't always see him. And so it kind of looks like a mat on the ground.
I love it. That's an appropriate name for a
so we call him
stingray.
Matt. Mhm.
Okay. All right. That's
Can
great.
you change its name to Greg?
We've got one other fish named Bubbles because he's just incessantly trying to eat our bubbles. And if you take a second without actually giving more bubbles, he'll start pecking at your head.
Nice.
It's he's
So they're
adorable.
friendly. Yeah. When you get in there, I mean, do you think that the critters actually recognize you personally, or
Yes.
they do?
Yes, they do.
Hey,
they
it's Rachel.
definitely do.
Hey, yay.
I would have never known actually how much personality and individuality each fish has.
Yeah.
In fact, it's quite amazing. What I like to tell divers when they get in the water to start to feed for the first time, everybody's pretty scared because they don't want to get bit. They want to do it right. They're swarmed by fish. And if you come in with that anxiety, I swear the fish will start pecking at you, just to try to freak you out. So you'll drop the bucket and go to the surface.
She kind of is describing her first appearance on Scuba Radio with all the other members of the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad.
I was thinking it's like your first day in prison. You can't show any fear.
Well, there are similarities there too. Same kind of thing. But God bless her. I love it. It is good stuff, Rachel. We got an hour on deck. We'll tap in to the other Rachel, who's a mermaid. She does a lot of that aquarium stuff as well with her mermaid festivities. And plus, we're going to find out about a dive show that's happening in March in the UK. That's all coming up in hour 2 of the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Your eyes there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio. Let's go! Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio.
This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters? Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.
Oh, hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling the radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that Scuba Radio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea. Under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for Scuba Radio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome to Hour 2 of the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ and Bubble Boy are in the studio with me.
One day he'll be a bubble man.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't think that's going to happen, actually. But we have a lot of people connected via the web today as part of the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad. They are made up of Barry the Bugger, Jerry the Diver Guy, Mermaid Rachel, Scuba Queen Rachel. We have two Rachels, so we got to differentiate them accordingly. Vinny Two Tanks, Casey the Tobacco Nut, Mermaid Kristen, and we even have the Aqua Gypsy, and look at that, we got Cat Multi Martini. Are you guys over there at the Gomez Hilton or out and about? Looks like you're on a boat there, Brittany.
We are. We're actually in Port Everglades right now. We're waiting on a cruise ship to go out so we can go continue to eat some raw oysters.
What do you mean, waiting on a cruise ship? What are you going to do, sit there and moon them as they're cruising by? Is that the deal or plan?
That's exactly what we're going to do. If I can try to turn this. Okay, here we go.
There they are. You can see this on YouTube and Facebook
waiting on
Live.
this cruise ship to come by us so that we can hopefully go by, but we've been stopped by the U.S. Coast Guard.
Right. Oh, yeah. So you guys are out on Captain Walt's boat, it looks like. Walt, are you?
We are on
you're someone else's boat.
Wally and Sherry's boat.
Oh, okay,
Uncle
okay.
Wally's Adventure.
You guys are passengers, not captains right now. All right, so you're out there and you're going to flash them when they go by and just send them off on their way in style. That is the goal, maybe.
That's the goal.
Okay.
We'll see how good we do.
All right. Well, thanks for checking in. I know you guys are in the middle of it, so you're welcome to hang out, but I know you're kind of in the middle of being out there on the water.
One if by land, two if by sea.
Yeah, that's right. We have two of them by sea today, the Aqua Gypsy and Captain Walty Martini. And I would imagine the drunken sailor is along there with them somewhere, passed out in the bilge area of the vessel, you think?
Dragging him by the aft.
Possibly. You think, Kristen?
Yeah, we actually found the
Brittany?
drunken sailor at Whiskey Creek.
Ah, there you go. See, that would make sense. Because he's a connoisseur of the whiskey, I believe. But anyway, all right. Well, you guys enjoy the water, and if you got to sign off, I totally get it because it's a little hard for them to stay connected. So we'll catch in with you a little bit later on there, Brittany. Take care. All right. So she's out there on the water with Captain Walt, living the life, while we're just going to talk about it. Diving around the world and that kind of thing. As COVID opens back up, we got new things on the list that we want to mark off. Our first dive show outside of the USA was in Germany just a few years ago. And as we started to expand Scuba Radio and that kind of thing, we traveled outside the country quite a bit. We haven't really done any dive shows. So that brings us to our next guest, and that would be Mark Evans, who is the proprietor of Scuba Diving Magazine in the UK, the UK version. I don't know, like they speak the same language, so I don't know, what's different about it exactly, because we can get it here in the US, can't we, Mark? Yeah. I mean, it's not that.
Hey, see, we have to look after the colonies.
Right.
So we've even got a version for you guys that everything's spelled wrong as well.
Yeah. So they gotta keep things in check over there. So Mark,
and they speak the proper English there.
That's right. Yeah, we're the ones that are the rebels, I guess. But for us, it's a little, they're across the pond. They got their own thing going and that kind of thing. But you actually have probably, I guess, is going to be the first consumer dive event in the world after COVID. Is that right? You think, Mark?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the Go Diving Show, when we had the chat the other day, we had the last one probably before COVID, and we're going to have the first one after COVID, because literally we did the last show in February 2020, and literally 3 weeks after we wrapped the show, everything came to a halt, lockdown, and that was it. That was when the world was introduced to COVID-19.
Right.
Which before that, there was lots of words, lockdown, social distancing.
Yeah. Yeah, all that crazy stuff. They're like, this will last for a week or two, and then we'll be back to normal. Nope. It didn't work out that way. But we dealt with it as we do. The folks that are still hanging in there have persevered and are ready for things to open back up as they appear to be doing now. And your show, the Go Diving Now show, is smack dab in the middle of the UK. Is that right? Just what you were telling me, like an hour outside of London. If you were going to fly into London, is that it?
Yeah. It's about an hour north of London. It is pretty much bang in the middle of England. There's a little village right next to it with a post in the middle, and that is the middle of the country. So we couldn't get any better for people getting to us.
Well, there you go. What do you think the difference is between the divers in the UK where you're based and in the US? Because you come over here quite a bit. We've crossed paths and Grenada and some other things, at the DEMA show and that kind of stuff. I know Mark from over the years, and he's been back out in the industry for many years doing his thing. But do you think there's much difference other than like maybe, if you're comparing it to Florida folks, of course, we don't understand this whole, dry suit thing, cold water stuff you guys do over there all the time, which is more, I think, it just seems more common for you over in the UK. Is that a fair assumption, you think, or no?
Yeah, we're very jealous of you Florida guys because you've got warm water in your backyard.
We're spoiled rotten, aren't we?
You know what I mean? For us, we've got to travel to that.
Yeah. So, but other than that, I mean, do you think the divers are really any different as far as what they like to, read about maybe in your magazine or go see at the dive show there that you put on?
Yeah, I definitely think there's commonalities, between divers of all levels, really. Mm-hmm. British divers particularly like wrecks.
Yeah,
and I know there's lots of divers around the world like wrecks, but there is definitely an affinity for wrecks in the UK, and I think that's partly to do with the bad visibility that we can have off our coast.
Right.
So if you're on something metal, then that makes a difference. So that when you're down there, if you hit it and it sounds metallic, you're on the actual dive site.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah.
So it's character building diving in the UK sometimes.
I would agree with that. I mean, the more challenges you have when you're doing your diving, especially in your local area, if it's more challenging like that, whether it's cold, dark, low vis, that kind of thing, that just makes you a way better diver, especially even when you go out to the Caribbean and you have gin clear water. I mean, still you're gonna have your skills honed down, with the exception of.
And it makes you appreciate the good vis,
right?
Warm water, minimal exposure protection, no gloves, no hood.
Yeah,
it makes you more appreciative of that.
You can spot someone from the UK and the Caribbean like their first trip, pretty easily though, because they're usually wearing a pretty thick wetsuit and a lot of extra weight, and they don't understand. Like, well, wait a minute, I mean, we don't need this. And he's like, and then they get in the second dive, they're like, they shed all that stuff off. So they learn very.
He said shed.
Did I? I'm not sure. We'll have to roll the tape back on that one. But regardless, I mean, they get with the program pretty quick. They're very sharp divers because, like I said, the challenging conditions that you have to deal with just make you a better diver. I mean, it's good in the long run, I think. As far as the dive show itself, you expect this one to be big? Is the pent-up demand huge, like what we've been seeing here in the States? I mean, the dive businesses locally have been doing extremely well in places like Florida and along the coast of the U.S. You know what I mean? Locally?
Yeah, no, I mean, we've been a little bit slower getting back into diving within the UK, but that's purely because we've got a limited season.
Yeah.
You can dive all year round at the inland sites, but obviously the coastal sites are very weather dependent.
Right.
So,
okay.
We can in the summer months, yes, you can get off the coast, but when it gets into the winter, it's more hit and miss.
Yeah.
But I have to say, last year in particular, in the summer, because the travel wasn't happening, there was a really big growth and a boost in the people diving in the UK. You went to dive sites where you maybe had only been seeing 10, 15 people and there was 30 or 40 buddy pairs.
Yeah.
So that was nice to see. People were still getting out and diving even if they couldn't get abroad.
Right. Yeah, they're diving local. And, it may be a little bit more challenging, but they were still getting out there. That's good to see for sure. Well, I wish you huge success with your show there at the beginning of March. And if they want info, it's what, godiving.com or scuba diving?
Yeah, godivingshow.com.
Godivingshow.com. Check it out. Just outside of London, smack dab in the middle of the UK. Mark Evans and their gang putting on this show.
We're dead chuffed to check that out.
What's that?
He knows what I mean.
Okay. All right. It sounded like bullocks to me.
You're cheeky.
You're
a cheeky little monkey.
We're gonna work out all the goofy terms here next. Stay close.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Conventional underwater scooters can be heavy, unwieldy, and underpowered. At just over 8 pounds and with speeds of up to 7 miles per hour, the Scuba Jet Pro dive scooter is a game changer and fits in your dive bag. The Scuba Jet Pro uses an eco-friendly jet engine with impeller technology. With adapters, it can even power paddleboards, canoes, kayaks, and all kinds of water sports equipment. It's the most versatile scooter you'll ever own. Learn more and get the Scuba Jet Pro at ScubaJet.com. That's ScubaJet.com.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of ScubaRadio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures ScubaRadio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer, and Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Taric is the best, most intuitive, and reliable wristwatch-sized dive computer on the market. Check it out in the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater, dive computers for demanding divers.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
These are the Cubans, baby. These are the Cohibas, the Monte Cristos.
Come on down to Cuba. Come play in the sand. We can drink and go scuba. We'll make love out on the beach and then we'll run on.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. By the way, Mark Evans was nice enough to check in with us from the UK. It's like, 9 o'clock at night there right now. So
way past your bedtime.
Yeah. But he was, he was nice enough to be on the show. He was socially lubricated, and he did point out instead of Cuban rum, like we would think is exotic here in the States, he was drinking a Budweiser.
Yeah.
God bless him.
That makes me sad.
Yeah.
Because he's got the good stuff in England, and he's drinking that.
Well, that's the good stuff.
No, it's not.
For them,
No,
that
it's
is the
not.
good stuff. For us,
it's
it might be, what's the beer in, Guinness or something? I don't know. What would, in the UK, what would you drink over there? Or what would be?
That's Irish.
I know.
Of Guinness.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be the UK. What kind of beer would you drink in
Vinny's
in the
trying
UK?
to chime in, but he's muted.
Yeah. I don't know. What kind of beer
I
in
just
the UK?
said you insulted him by saying Irish beer.
Exactly. Jerry, how dare you?
I didn't say Irish beer. I just said Guinness.
Okay. All right. But I don't know. What kind of beer do they drink in the UK? What is it?
Samuel Adams.
They usually in the
We are
public
so-
houses there.
Yeah, what is
it's
it, Ben?
bitters. It's called bitters.
Bitters? I thought that was like a spice or something. That's
No,
like
that's
a flavor.
That's their beer. They call it bitters.
on South
Park. Okay. Well, Vinny.
Trust me on that.
All right. Someone better Google it.
Never
'cause it's
trust
probably
anybody that says trust me on that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bitter beer.
All right. Barry's looking it up on Google right now. He's going to find out.
No, I'm not. I'm too tired.
What? Okay. Go back to sleep then.
Thank you.
You're boring him.
We have Mermaid Rachel with us that we haven't really been able to chat with too much yet. It's been a couple weeks. She's
What
been
kind of beer
traveling
does she
the
like?
country. What? Yeah, I don't know. Do you even drink beer, or is that a no-no for free
Oh,
divers?
no, I definitely do.
Okay.
I
she's-
like IPAs and I like porters. I recently, while I was at work last week, tried, a pecan porter?
a pecan porter. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It was interesting. Yeah, interesting.
I work at a brewery as well now.
Oh,
and
that's right.
My boss was yesterday asking us to name a new beer they're releasing on Valentine's Day that is a blood orange glitter beer.
A blood orange glitter beer.
No,
they asked
you
you
don't
to name
drink
it.
stuff like that. You know, no.
In this beer.
Wait.
That can't be good for your kidneys.
Well,
I suggested they be called Will This Digest All Right?
The key word is beer, Barry.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, you said there's glitter in the beer, so it's got to go somewhere.
Well, it can't be any worse than like Goldschlager that has those gold flakes in that
Those are fillings.
rum or whatever. Yeah, what is that? What is that? A vodka?
Nothing
It's a
wrong
vodka,
with
I think.
Goldschlager. Nothing.
Well, okay, but glitter you could drink it. I'm sure. I mean, they decided you could, evidently, but they don't care about the health of their patrons, or what do you think there?
I don't know. I mean, apparently it's edible glitter. It's just like you put it on like and stuff. So
It's just like those special clothes that Barry and Jerry like to wear.
It's
on
no worse than all
Valentine's.
those.
Leave me out of it. Hey,
going back to sleep.
Those
Keep me out of
edible
it.
nighttime apparel things that they like to.
Sounds
Maybe
like
the
something you
glitter
know a
is
lot about.
maybe
Yeah.
the glitter is like fish scales or something.
Well, I don't know, but
sounds disgusting.
But they asked you, Mermaid Kristen, to name the beer. Is that what you
they
said?
asked all the employees what we should name it. I suggested Fairy Blood and Will This Digest Okay?
Okay, all right.
Well, if it's
Fairy
coming out
Blood.
on Valentine's Day, it should be like love equals death.
If you're gonna name it Fairy Blood, that should be maybe on a Halloween.
What?
Okay, that could be
Blood
more
orange flavored beer.
blood orange. Okay, well, I understand. Yeah, I get it.
But they allow us to create our own beers while we're there. Like while we work there, the employees can come up with beers and they'll release it. So they've been like pressuring me to come up with a mermaid one, and I just like don't know what kind of flavors I want to do.
I say do wetsuit beer that smells like wetsuits.
I think it should be Mo Mermaid beer.
Mo
I was
Mo-
thinking
That's a great idea.
Mo Futter. Mo.
Yeah.
what's that
Oh,
beer?
yeah. Vinny.
Mo-
Yeah. Be careful, Vinny.
I
Be
think
very,
we should
very
all
careful.
meet up at the. I think we should all meet up at this brewery and do some sampling together.
It sounds like a little research and development session is due.
Road trip.
there, Kristen. Yeah. So, or we've been approached to be see if we do like a Scuba Radio beer before, but I think a mermaid beer would be better. I think it'd be better. I mean, what would mermaid beer taste like?
The brewery I work at is
Kind of
called,
fishy.
Yeah.
it's called Adventure Brewery, and my boss actually is before he started running the brewery was hours away from getting his scuba instructor certification. His
Really?
whole family they're all scuba divers, and it's called Adventure because they're big into their adventuring, like Boy Scouts, doing all that kind of stuff, and
Right.
their family focused on the most is scuba diving. Which
Well, let's make some scuba beer. It does, that does exist already. There's a couple companies that have make scuba beer. There's a scuba beer made out of, I think they bottle it in Lakeland, Florida, and you can find it quite
hops, barley.
Yeah, well, I mean, they bottle it there. It's a big, brewery place here in Florida.
They squeeze out the flavoring from used wetsuits.
It was developed in up in the Northeast by some cold water divers. So it's a dark Guinness-like type beer. It's not what I would expect a scuba beer to be. More, from a warm water wuss perspective.
You like an ale, like a golden.
Well, or more of a
maybe
light
amber
summer type of beer is what I thought. But this scuba beer that they came out with a few years ago, it's very heavy. It's but it's like 8% alcohol too, so it's pretty potent. So it has a bit of a kick to it. Yeah, but
It's almost a port beer.
maybe I don't know. But it does exist. But yeah, encourage them. I mean, I know a few divers that have a tendency to drink when they're not diving there, Kristen. So it could be a good marketing move to incorporate
Kristen,
the whole
you've
scuba
got the
diving
perfect
thing.
sampling team.
Yep. I mean, as long as you don't combine the two, but you're fine. You hang out at the tiki bar. You probably want a nice, fresh kind of summery type beer, though. Maybe be an alternate. to this.
You guys heard of
one
the
that's
Rowdy
out.
Mermaid kombucha?
Summer's Eve.
What is that? Oh, geez, Barry. How dare you? Say it again, Rachel. What was that?
There's a brand called Rowdy Mermaid kombucha, and I just recently saw it, and I was like, "Oh, that's so amazing, Rowdy Mermaid!" And they have like a bunch of different flavors.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, I mean, mermaid, beer, or scuba, yeah, work some angle in there for sure. I just, I mean, you got to figure what do you think of when you think of mermaid, though? Like as far as the smells and aromas and tastes.
Smashing your head into the rocks.
Okay, there's that. I'm not sure if that's going to be a good selling point, though. We'll have to kind of marinate on that a little bit. More coming up.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Scuba action star Mike Scott is back in a new audiobook, Cayman Cowboys, Reefs Under Pressure. From author Eric Douglas comes the one that started it all. Listen as Mike deals with submarines, kidnapping, betrayal, and more.
He didn't even have fins or a mask to let him see in the water. He was going to be slow and blind. If it weren't for the float, he knew there would be no way he would ever make it to the surface.
Download Cayman Cowboys or Oil and Water, Return to Cayman, Turks and Chaos, and Lionfish at Amazon, booksbyeric.com, and audible.com.
Do you have a message or a product that you'd like to share with the diving world? Well, look no further than Scuba Radio. Just like you, thousands of diving enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to ScubaRadio.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
Let me tell you about a friend I know. He's got the world's first scuba diving radio show. So now everywhere I am, and everywhere I go, the first thing that I tune to is Scuba Radio.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. I did not expect to take the turn into types of beers that we as divers tend to enjoy. But look, if you're going to come out with a new one, we could use a scuba beer. Why not? I mean, the official, liquor of diving. You don't combine the two, but when you're done with your day of diving, divers have a tendency to partake. Seems to be rum. There's not a specific type, I think, when it comes to the liqueurs, the liquor. You drink whatever rum is local. Are you with me on this, CJ?
I tend to go for vodka, but I will venture into rum sometimes.
You'll do something if it's like the local rum of the island. You'll try it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a thing.
Pussers.
But having pussers would be the UK.
Pussers!
Exactly. You're not even saying it right, Barry. But yeah,
I'm not a professional.
Right. Well, it's years of experience and tutelage from Captain Gomez, or is it Julio?
Both.
Yeah, and a little bit of Walt. But yeah, the thing is, you kind of have a tendency to partake. That's part of the spice of going out on a cool dive adventure, is a sample the local concoctions. There was a company that was coming out with a specific type of rum for divers called tank rum, and that kind of I don't know if they came out with it for a while and then it just kind of fizzled out.
How about this?
What?
You call it get wrecked. Like a
Get wrecked
dive.
beer?
Like a wreck dive.
Okay, Kristen is digging that vibe. I mean, but don't you got to get the mermaid element in there too?
Well, we do it. Mermaid would be a different one.
Or the mermaids would be the graphics on the can for the beer, don't you think? It could be, get wrecked beer, sure. I don't know. No?
Sirens of the Sea.
Yeah. Okay.
Siren Sour.
That's a
Wait, what in sour? What'd she say?
The Siren Sour.
The siren.
Ooh,
okay,
that'd be good.
That sounds like a drink to me.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Snorkel shot! Snorkel shot! Snorkel shot! I'ma spend the weekend in the deep end. The water's finding y'all, so just come on in to the deep end.
Guys, I'm bringing the party to you.
Of a dive bar. Of this dive bar. Come on! Talking about a dive bar.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. Scuba Radio Happy Hour has begun. All this talk of, naming a new scuba beer from Kristen, it kind of took a turn. Made me start thinking about that. I was watching a lot of YouTube videos this week about rums in particular, just learning a little bit more about the different types of rums, what to look for, that kind of thing. Because I like to partake in the local, the island rum and give it a shot, or, try to learn more. Because when you go in the Caribbean especially, all of them have like distilleries and if you go to Barbados, you might find some stuff about Mount Gay, or you go down to Grenada, they have their types of rums and things, and you can go to these distilleries and learn a lot about them. But of course, any rum distillery tour usually includes a tasting.
Smart. You are smart to do that.
Why?
Because then you have an excuse for why you're slurring your words on the air.
That's right. See? We've been doing this for 25 years,
Always
CJ.
thinking.
Why do you think
Always thinking, sometimes drinking.
Well, it's we're not diving, so we can talk about it and we can, partake. It's Scuba Radio Happy Hour. We kind of have a thing. And so, maybe it's time to get our own beer. I don't know. I don't know if we need to go that specific. We used to have...
Get hammered.
Okay. I think that might already exist.
All right.
I think that
There's
one.
a shirt design that's Get Hammered, and it's a hammerhead with like a beer as like it's like a beer can as the hammer of the hammerhead.
Well, okay. See, you got to think more original.
That's okay.
I mean, actually, years ago, we actually had a Scuba Radio drink called the Scuba Radio Splash. And it was a blue concoction. I think it had blue curacao in it. And
how come I've
vodka
never had one of these? You never made me one.
I don't remember how they made them. I said, make us up something that's blue and colorful and throw a, orange wedge in there.
Blood orange.
Did it have any Swedish fish in it?
No, but it probably should have. That would make sense, wouldn't it? And but they called it the Scuba Radio Splash. I said my only guides are it probably should be blue, and we should tie it into the ocean, that kind of thing, and that it should get you there quicker. So I know they threw a few extra shots of something in there to
Probably
give it
vodka,
an extra kick, not to go overboard, but definitely sip on that thing and have one or two of those.
How about
are good.
the sticky mermaid?
Why does she have to be sticky?
That just sounds funny.
It sounds funny. Kristen
It's got like honey in
right
it or
now.
something.
That sounds weird.
So
Exactly.
a sticky sweet, like a salty sweet mermaid.
Like a salty caramel.
See,
and the hole gets deeper and deeper.
Yeah, just getting creepier, isn't it? Yeah. Let's not.
No. I like the salt angle.
Yeah,
There's
you
something there.
Well, if you're trying to preserve your mermaid, baby, that's how they preserve fish is with salt.
Salt on the rim.
Not the Merry Mermaid.
Yeah, there's certain words you should not include in your description.
Salt, got it.
Okay. Anyway, good luck with that, Kristen. I'm sure that helped. It didn't help at all. You throw ideas out like this on the show, and sometimes, very rarely,
We're just
you might,
spitballing here, man. Just throw them out.
Well, exactly, but I don't think we've come up with anything that's usable yet. Well, you think we should still continue?
Yeah.
Okay.
No one else is helping
the Merry
me.
Mermaid. That was a good one.
The Merry Mermaid though sounds like a drink. It doesn't sound like a beer.
What's wrong with
though.
that?
Well,
we were doing drinks too.
We opened it up to drinks now.
I thought you did. You said liquor.
Well,
we were talking about rum.
Well,
and you were
just
talking
saying-
about a drink that's got blue stuff in it.
How dare you challenge me?
Just stating the facts, man.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, if there's lots of drinks that you could do for sure. I think, like a rum-based or blue-based
Ginger
drink.
bitch.
That would be a red-headed mermaid.
Could be.
Okay.
It's not even right.
Yeah.
I like the ginger bitch.
Okay. That's. I don't think that's what Rachel's looking for. Or
Blonde
Kristen.
hurricane.
Okay.
There's already a hurricane.
Right. Well, how would it make it? Those are red generally, like a punch.
No, those are usually blue or
yeah.
Well, if it's blonde, it'd be yellow, wouldn't it?
Well, we'd find a way to make it yellow.
Greg,
I bet
my
you
God,
would.
We drunk so many hurricanes.
It's got
in
mermaid
Las
pee in
Vegas
it.
on the strip.
You have to have a mermaid. That's your gimmick. You slide the drink down the bar, and then a mermaid squats over it.
No.
All right, never mind.
I don't think that mermaids squat, but
Yeah,
Wriggle.
yeah.
It would be
I'm
wriggle.
going to change the subject.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
All right,
Almost to the core of the earth.
So it can't be yellow. Okay.
All right. Yeah, that just opens you up to many
It could be like a
problems.
Bloody Mary, but like a bloody mermaid.
Well, she already had that. What was it? The orange red? What is it? The orange or blood orange? What?
Blood orange. They haven't named it yet. It's a blood orange beer.
Yeah,
beer.
but you're.
Oh, that's what you named the ginger bitch. Tell them ginger bitch. I bet they'll love it.
They probably would name it that too.
All right. Well, Kristen, she's thinking maybe you're right. I don't know.
Tell them name it after you. Say I want this to be called the Kristen.
I christen this the Kristen.
There you go.
They already have a cranberry ginger.
Okay. Thank you for that, Vinny. Well, so I don't know. I mean,
A Kristen berry.
I'd love to have our own drink though, official. I mean, you would think if since we had the Splash, the Scuba Radio Splash, that I would know the recipe to that. But we could always just make it up make a new version.
Don't
of
take
it.
this the wrong way, but it doesn't surprise me that you don't.
Why?
Don't make me say it. Don't make me say it.
Oh God.
Okay. Fair enough.
Go ahead and say it, CJ.
All right. No. Just leave it off.
Can't
do it. Can't go there. Well, let's change some gears. There's actually a new medical form that is like all the agencies have gotten together to try to streamline the medical form that you got to fill out for a dive. Did you guys know this?
Where are your papers?
Jerry, you knew about this as a dive instructor?
I know about it.
So,
I know
okay,
about
then
it.
what do you know about it then?
I know that there's a new medical form that's supposed to streamline everything and make my life easier.
It's supposed to streamline.
Streamline.
That's what Greg said.
Yes, thank you. And what they're doing, they've put together a medical panel of divers that have tried to kind of go over the problem where people are filling out their medical form.
Is Dr. Doug on that panel?
No, I don't
because
think
if he's
he is.
not on that panel, I refuse to recognize it.
No, there's some pretty big heavy hitters. I know some of them. They know what they're doing. But what they're trying to do is, the problem if you end up, you have all those check boxes that it says, have you ever had this? Have you ever had this? And it's yes or no. You got to check it. And say, it's something like, have you ever had diabetes or something?
Diabetes.
Right.
Have you been drinking with a mermaid in the past 48 hours?
I don't think that's one of the questions on the current form because they've taken a lot of the stuff that used to be
a lot of the
it
stuff
red
took
flag
off.
you. Yeah, and you'd have to go get a permission slip from your doctor in order to be able to continue on with the dive. And
is this to learn to dive, or from now on you have to fill out a form every time you want to go?
no,
dive?
whenever you got to fill out a medical form for dive training.
Have you
generally.
been stung in
Yeah.
the anus by a jellyfish?
Not this
Or like
Wow.
the Explorer Venture gives us an application.
Yeah, exactly. That way, I have to get a special medical exemption because I had heart surgery like 6 years ago. And
I
I'll
don't
tell
know
you,
if that will apply to you though, Greg, because you're already a diver.
well, I'm already a diver, but if I wanted to do any continuing education or something like that. But Explorer Ventures, yes, you got to fill out their medical form, and I think they may be looking at that too. But
do you have a monkey heart? Yes, I do.
Are you a strong swimmer?
No,
Yes or
those
no?
are you guys got the form mixed up. These are little medical things that people say you've recovered from. Like the reasons I'm bringing it up is because of COVID. Because the big question mark is if you've had COVID, is that going to be a new potential flag on a medical form if you're doing training? Right now, the answer is no.
Shouldn't be if you're.
And they're trying to make sure that doesn't happen.
It's streamlined. I mean, it's got like box B. Am I over 45 years of age and I currently smoke or inhale nicotine? I have high cholesterol or high blood pressure. And they streamlined everything instead of having that 2 rows.
Do you own a still?
Yeah, well, okay, there's that one. That's for sure. More coming up.
Scuba Radio. Would you like to talk diving? Greg the Dive Master's all toweled down and ready to take your call now. Call Scuba Radio at 1-888-88-SCUBA.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer. And Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Peregrine is a simple, full-color, multi-gas dive computer. It's also the most economical Shearwater dive computer released to date. Check it out and the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater, dive computers for demanding divers.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving, flying, and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving, flying, and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why I wanted to tell you about Nanook Professional Protective Cases. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook cases generally cost less than similar products currently on the market. From an iPhone to a full set of dive gear, whatever you need to shield from the elements, Nanook Professional Protective Cases has the size, shape, and color for you. Go to nanook.com. That's NANUK.com for Nanook Professional Protective Cases. The evolution of protection.
Hey, baby, what's going down?
Later, nerd.
Are you lacking with the ladies?
Nope.
Enhance your scuba superpowers with a new ScubaRadio hat.
Wow, nice hat.
Just picked it up at ScubaRadio.com.
Buy 2 ScubaRadio hats and get free shipping.
Need a dive buddy, sexy?
Always. And I got a Scuba Radio hat for you, too.
New ScubaRadio hats are now available at ScubaRadio.com.
So cool.
Order yours today, or stay a loser.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
What in God's name are you talking?
You think they wanted the sharks to get smarter? It just happened. And they all got eaten because of it.
Sharks patrol these waters. Sharks patrol these waters. It's murder out there, murder out there. Sharks patrol these waters. Sharks patrol these waters. Hey, don't you worry about the Dayglow Orange Life Preserver.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. Sharks patrol these waters. But don't be distracted by the Dayglow. What? Did you hear what he said? I have no idea. You guys didn't get that, did you?
No. I heard it, but I forgot it.
Okay. That's what they do.
There was one?
In their old age. CJ and Bubble Boy in the studio with me. I am Greg the Dive Master. And we got the Bubble Boy. We got Barry the Booger as part of the ScubaRadio Scuba Squad, along with Jerry the Diver Guy, Vinny Two Tanks, Mermaid Rachel, and Kristen. We have 2 mermaids. Actually, if you look on the screen at on YouTube and Facebook Live and Twitch, Vinny Two Tanks is the meat of a mermaid sandwich.
He's a center square.
How about that? Had that ever happened to you before, Vinny? Or is this a first? He's like,
You're muted.
He's tongue-tied now.
He is.
Noticed.
Yeah.
I never noticed.
Yeah, okay.
He's terrified because he's underneath there.
I'd rather be in line with them.
Well, you'd rather be you would like to be
stuck
in the middle. Yeah.
like me between Jerry and Greg.
Well, Barry's on top, so let that sink in. All right, moving on. There were a couple stories that I wanted to get out there before we wrap things out today. The History of Diving Museum. Just stop it. The History of Diving Museum down there in Isla Morada, Tavernier area in the Florida Keys. They're looking for some workers. If you've ever wanted to work in a diving museum,
like
reach out to
dusting
them.
helmets and stuff?
I don't know. Maybe setting up exhibits and things like that.
They don't want me doing that.
Why is that?
And they also don't want Barry doing or Vinny, because there'll be like little pumpkins everywhere.
That's the place I went to, and I told them I knew Greg, and they charged me double.
Well, okay.
So,
Now you
next
know.
time,
keep your big mouth shut.
That's right.
Yeah.
Next time, just bring Harry, your pumpkin, and maybe they'll
get me a discount. Sure.
it'll get you a discount or a free ride to the psychiatric ward down there in the Keys. Regardless. There is another big story. Now, sea serpent sightings, I don't know if you guys know this, has been on the rise recently.
You're digging deep for those stories, aren't you?
What? Why is he laughing?
I think you'll like this story.
I'm laughing because I can read the headline from here.
Right, but Barry, why is Barry laughing? The sea serpent
I told you,
sightings have been on the rise.
It's those paint fumes, dude.
Over the last year or two. You didn't know this, Barry? You hadn't seen this in the news?
No, I haven't seen any sea serpents lately.
Have you been out in the water lately?
Well,
no, I have
mean,
not been out in the water.
If you drank too much Kraken rum or something, maybe that's one of the reasons. I don't know why, but they have been seen, getting reports. If you look, like, especially on the fringes of the internet, it's one of those.
There you go. Okay, now I understand.
Web.
Like the Weekly World News type stuff. Those type of stories are getting more of those crazy stories of sea serpents being seen out in the open water and that kind of thing.
Oh, you mean like totalbs.com?
No, I'm not. I mean, if people are seeing something, they don't know what it is. And they're, just like if, every time you see something in the sky, people report it's an alien, and it may not be. It might be a weather balloon. It might be something else. Well, scientists have just be quiet and listen to me. The truth of the matter is scientists have started to debunk some of these sea serpent sightings.
Like the Loch Ness Monster?
Right. That's kind of what it is. The pictures, people see this thing sticking up out of the water. And it ends up...
Not a periscope.
What do you think it is, Jerry? You have any guess on what it might be?
Logs.
Logs?
You're partially right.
Maybe. Vinny, do you have any idea what the scientists are saying, what these sea serpents might be? He's thinking deep. And
I haven't heard anything about this.
Okay. All right. And Rachel, Kristen, any clue? You have no idea. Well, the scientists evidently are saying that whales of the male gender evidently are fairly well endowed, and when they get excited,
well, we know that's not Barry.
They're breaking the surface of the ocean, and
they're breaching.
Their nether regions are being mistaken for sea serpents.
Aha! Moby Dick.
There she blows.
Moby Dick.
Okay, so
that, but I just
see that.
Wait, hold on. Kristen wants to commentate or make a comment.
Her face is turning red.
I really thought that that's where this story was going, and I was going to say it, but I didn't want to be the person to say it.
See, she knows. She knows. It makes perfectly good sense. I mean, the scientists are on target with this one.
She knows.
And as a mermaid, this is, it might go with the territory. I don't know. Rachel, does that one surprise you? I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
That kind of surprises me. I was thinking of like maybe Portuguese man of war, like the tendrils coming off of something.
Right.
But...
Yeah, like a box jellyfish or something. They look goofy on the surface when they're floating, or like the man of war.
What kind of lipstick the females wear?
I bet it's waterproof.
Waterproof.
Yeah. But regardless, now you know. So if you see a sea serpent when you're out scuba diving or on the dive boat, just keep your distance, I guess, is the moral of that story. Oh, geez.
Whitewater.
Okay. All right. Anyway, what a great way to finish off this week's edition of The Big Show, you think? We finished on a bang. All right. Anyway, till next week, remember, it's always better where, gang?
Down where it's wetter.
Safe diving, everyone.
Captain Ron to Jock Gusto. They all love Scuba Radio. On the boat and down below if you want to stay in the know. If you be pressurized there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio. Let's go!
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio. This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters? Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.